Welcome! In this demonstration, we'll walk through a typical job in today's commercial print shop. Many jobs involve mixed production, such as a saddle-stitched book with a cover printed offset, a 4-color text component printed digitally, and a black and white digital insert that's personalized with variable data. Xitron's K2 workflow can seamlessly handle all these different components. Jobs often come in as separate PDFs, and sometimes several PDFs for each component. K2's job submission module allows us to manage and track everything in one place. Let's start by reviewing the files from our customer. We have 3 PDFs, one for the cover, one for the interior pages, and one for the black and white insert. In K2, we have all our workflow standards set up, including digital and offset devices like the J-press and Konica, plus several offset presses. We'll now create a new project for this job. First, we'll access the Job Submission module. After clicking the Tool button in the top bar, we'll create a new project, entering the project name, customer, and due date. Then, we'll upload the customer's PDFs by dragging and dropping them into the project. Once the files are uploaded, K2 inspects them automatically, displaying the trim box size and page count for each PDF. For example, the interior is 32 pages, the book's final size is 6 by 8 inches, and both the insert and the cover are also 6 by 8. The open cover is 12 by 8, with a front and back. Now we'll start creating our components. We'll begin with the cover. First, drag the cover PDF into the component run list. Then, we'll select the press, and SM74 for offset printing, and set the imposition as Work in Turn 4 up. After clicking the Release button, K2 will send this component to the workflow, pre-flight the file, impose it, and pause for inspection. Next, we'll add the 4-color text component, which will be printed digitally on the J-press. We start by dragging in the 32-page PDF. We'll assign a 16-page saddle-stitch imposition for the 32-page file. We then hit the Release button to send it off. Finally, we'll create the black and white insert. You can even drag individual pages from different PDFs to build the run list. This insert will be printed on the Konica using a 4-page imposition. We now have a cover component, a text component, and a black and white insert, all contained within project number 40. We are now ready for production. In the K2 production client, we can easily track the status of each component. We'll search for project number 40 and see all 3 components, each assigned to a specific output device. Let's start by inspecting the cover. The cover has passed pre-flight, ink remapping, and trapping, and is now imposed and paused for inspection. We can take a look at the pre-flight report by double-clicking on it. Good, there are no warnings. Now let's look at the imposition before we release it to the RIP for output. Looks good. Let's say we have a situation where we are out of the 26-inch sheet that we just imposed by default. Instead, we'll use a 28-inch sheet. We'll want to change the color bar to a different standard. Simply click Edit Imposition and enter the new settings just for this particular job. In our case, we're going to select a new mark set and the larger sheet size. K2 will reimpose and pause again for inspection. Once satisfied, we can release the job to the CTP for output. Next, we'll inspect the 32-page, 4-color text component. Looks good. Since it's already pre-flighted and imposed as 16-page sections, we can release it to the digital front end for the J-press. For the black and white insert, we don't need to inspect it again. Since we know the imposition is correct, we can release it directly. At any time, we can return to the job submission module to inspect or adjust the project. For example, if the cover can't print on the offset press due to a scheduling conflict or maintenance issue, we can easily modify the workflow and send it to the digital press without starting over. K2 allows us to keep the same imposition and just switch the press assignment. Once we hit release, the workflow shifts to the J-press. Now we can see the cover running on the digital press. If necessary, we can modify imposition on the fly, adjusting marks or sheet sizes to fit the production environment that day. With K2, you gain complete control over your mixed production jobs, managing multiple components in one workflow. It is precisely the flexibility and efficiency your print shop needs to stay ahead.